Okay, so it is 5 o'clock on Friday, Friday Freedom, first Friday Freedom webinars. Welcome to everybody who's joining. Just let you all come in. Okay, so welcome. My name is Anna Charles, and I'll be hosting this webinar. I'm going to do this every Friday for the foreseeable. And I'm doing this on a Friday just before the evening, my time, because I think Friday is often a reason why people decide to drink, right? They tell me, but it's Friday. It's like Friday, it's a call to arms, right? Now the weekend starts. And whether that's a woohoo, right? Woohoo, it's Friday, or it's a more pragmatic, well, that's what I do on a Friday. That's what I do because I have a very stressful job and I come in and I just want to have my drink and then just have that me time. Whatever the reason, what we are really telling ourselves, the subtext, is that Fridays are made fun by the act of drinking. And what I want to offer is that it's actually much more fun not drinking or drinking less than you would ever believe, right? I think this not just for health reasons, and that's super cool and that's fun actually to get more healthy. It's a lot of fun to get a really good night's sleep. It's really fun to feel in control of everything that's going on. But actually it's just a lot more fun generally. It is better, in my view, now that there's no alcohol in my life. And whether you want to drink less or you just want to drink at the weekend or you don't want to, whatever it is, that life is actually a lot more fun. And I love that I have this control. I love that I gave myself the miracle of this. And I love that I can give this to my clients too. And I like to just spread that with as many people as possible, hence the idea of doing these webinars. So here's how this will work. I'm going to do this every Friday. And the intent is that they'll be fairly short and sweet. I don't want this to go on for a long time. We are going to be covering one topic each week. And I'm really happy, and I encourage you to submit your topics to me that we cover. Now, this can be one of two things. You can either ask me a question to address, which is what I'm actually going to do today. I'm going to address a question that I get asked a lot. Or you can submit to me, something that happened, an incident that happened, and you can look for coaching on it. What could you do next time? And I'll then teach you how to evaluate that and how to move through with making changes for the next time. So it's one or the other. But what I overall want to do, and by the way, you can do that anonymously. You can submit your requests and so on anonymously. But I really want to do is I want to strip away the shame from this, right? I want to normalize it. What's happening with you, the reason you might be struggling. There are very good reasons. I hear them all the time, and I want to offer it's totally normal. There is nothing wrong with you. And it's also totally possible for you to change as well, if that's what you want. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen here. Okay. All right. So there we go. There's me on the beach. And there's the Friday Freedom in hot pink for a reason. This is a lot of fun that we can have here. So a few words about me for those of you who don't know me. Anna Charles, and I actually was a corporate girl for many, many years. I used to be a vice president at a Fortune 500 company. I had a huge $60 million P&L. I had hundreds of people working for me, very big job, very, lovely family, used to achieving my goals and everything. I just thought I used to drink a little bit too much. And this was frustrating and annoying, actually, more than anything else. And there came a point when I said, I've just got to figure this out. And I did. And to this day, it remains one of the top things I've achieved for myself because it truly felt impossible. And now it is, I see not only was that possible, but actually it's made my life that much bigger. I had a big life before. It's just that much bigger. So now I have the huge joy of building a business to help other people to achieve this for themselves too. And you may also know me as the host and the creator of the 90 Days Later podcast. So my work and what I'm going to be talking about each Friday is for you if you don't want to declare yourself powerless around alcohol, but you maybe struggle to drink less. Now, you're willing to feel discomfort along the way. You're willing to take responsibility for your results, right? We don't blame other people. We don't blame circumstances. You're willing to fail and learn from that failure. And that you're basically all in. And that doesn't mean you have to be perfect, but that means that you're really in for this and you can see that this is possible. And what this program is not a recovery program. So if you are drinking to avoid withdrawal symptoms and require medical assistance to cut back or quit your alcohol, do not rely just on what I'm going to say here. Now, of course, what I say, there is benefit in this and there would be benefit to everybody, but please, don't take what I say and then just go and do that. Please seek medical assistance if that's you. All right, so you've had the official bio, but today I want to talk about drinking stories. And here's my drinking story, and that is actually a picture of me there on the right with my glass of wine in our American RV that we bought for a bit of fun that we used to then go around and take our holidays in. So then we're grinning from ear to ear, very proudly cooking over this cool, cute little stove, but I've got my glass of Chablis in my hand. So I used to be an expert drinker. So I like the Chablis, Premier Cru, like the good stuff. Also quite happy to drink the not so nice Pinot Grigio with a couple of ice cubes in it. I would drink at the end of the working day when I was on a holiday or just because. Sunny day, why not? I'm not doing anything else. I don't have any responsibilities. I'll have a drink. I would go around saying things like there's a G&T. We went for this long walk once. And I'd say to my son, there's a G&T with my name on it at the end of this walk. But the crux of my drinking story, where I really started to take things seriously, was the day when I was cooking and I was laying all the ingredients out on the counter, and there nestled next to the onions was a fully poured glass of white wine, which I had no recollection of pouring. And many of you may have heard this story before, but that was at the point I said, okay, I'm gonna make some changes here. So that's the topic I want to cover today. What is your drinking story? Do you even know? What do I mean by your story? Well, I shared mine with you just now, and I'm going to offer that we all have one, and it's playing on repeat. You likely won't even really know. It's like a bit of background music, right? It's kind of there. You know it's there. What's that song? I know that song, but, just not quite sure. Or you don't hear the music anymore. You don't see your drinking story anymore. This is so important to be able to identify this, because what we can do is that we can make change, lasting change, or we can just sort of plaster on tactics that really won't last. So dry January, for instance, is a tactic, is a short-term tactic. Now, there's no doubt that if you're able to go dry for the full 31 days or even a few of the days, that's going to be a good thing for the body. But so many people kind of do dry January, sort of hoping and waiting for 1st of February to come along. And so they aren't getting that full benefit. So I want you to, in looking at your drinking story, just understand, sort of write it all out. How does this show up? I want you to call out your repeat thoughts, how you're talking to yourself, how you view yourself, how you act. In which situation, where do you drink? Who are you with? Because by looking at this, we'll be able to look at the actions that you want and then be able to change your identity around alcohol. Now, for example, one of the things I hear a lot is people tell me, well, I drink because I just like the buzz. I want you to look at that statement. It seems very harmless and very innocent. Now, to start with, we got a desire-creating thought in there, as I would call it. I like the buzz, right? I like it. We're not going to adjust it. It's just it is. It's kind of like a fact. But it's also that little word "just" in there. I just like the buzz. I just do. It's a bit like, it's watching the news. It's kind of like reporting the news. We're kind of like, it's just the way it is. It's just the way it is, and that's what I have to work with. And What happens is we believe this. So we tell ourselves this so many times that we believe this. We believe that we drink because of just like the buzz. But then when we say, actually, I want to change my drinking, then we have some conflict going on, because this story that we've got going on repeat, that's still going on repeat, I just like the buzz, even when we're telling ourselves, yeah, but we want to change our drinking, there's conflict there. And that feels really uncomfortable. And we get this push me, pull me thing going on. And so no wonder when it gets uncomfortable and we start playing with some of the tactics, we start looking at some of our thoughts and change our actions. No wonder if we're attributing fun and the buzz to the alcohol, when we start to remove the alcohol, no wonder we want to run from the hills, because life's going to be dreary. Who wants that? I wouldn't sign up for that, right? What we don't see is us telling ourselves, I just like the buzz, that's just part of the problem. And it's a story. It's totally optional. It's just something that we've said so often that we almost don't even hear ourselves doing this. So that's the homework for this week. No, I want to stay here. I want you to identify your story. So there's a couple of parts to this. Firstly, I want you to write it out. And this is the story. And this isn't, what society thinks. This is what you think and you believe about you. And I just want you to write it all out. When do you drink? Who do you drink with? What do you like? What do you think about it? What do you think about yourself? And to do this, get really quiet. And I encourage you to be totally and utterly honest with yourself. Only you need to see this. Now, you can rip the paper up afterwards if you so like, but it's so instructive to get it all out on paper. And then I want you to look at what you've written. It's quite a funny thing here. I want you to look at what you've written and decide how much of that is factually true. Factually true. Where you could say, yep, absolutely 100% that's true. So what I mean by this, one of the things I used to write, for instance, was, I drink way too much on some days. I just drink too much, but sometimes I drink way too much. And the words way too much are full of emotion. It's full of opinion. And here's the two things that can happen when we use words like that. Firstly, because it's not really factual or specific, right? So I drink way too much, instead of saying I drink half a bottle 5 times a week plus 4 glasses on Saturday and 5 on Sunday, or whatever it is, right? So I drink way too much. We can then use that against ourselves. Our brains are super sneaky in the moment. We might say I drink way too much, but then we'll say, yeah, but I don't drink as much as Sarah or Jane. Or other people will then use it against us to get us to keep drinking. They'll say, what are you on about? You don't drink way too much. You drink less than me, and I haven't got a problem. Quit complaining. Come on, let's get drinks in. Right, so we can use it against ourselves. But also, just the words I drink way too much is totally emotive. It's similar to saying, look, I have a million things to do on my to-do list. I'm just never going to get it all done. I'm so stressed. Rather than saying, because that's a total overreaction, rather than saying, well, actually, there are 5 things that need to get done. 3 of them I have scheduled for this afternoon, and the other 2, actually, they can wait till tomorrow. Right? Very different. Got 5 things versus I've got a million things. So get specific with what you've written down. Understand what's factually true. And then once you have that data, once you have the facts, then you can start to look at, what can I do with this? So if this is what I'm drinking here, what changes could I make? How could I make this 1% better? And this is so powerful. And I came to this because obviously in my corporate job, I was used to a lot of data and statistics and all the rest of it. We would look at that and we would always be writing process. We'd have a process to get us from here to here. We'd have a process for this, a process for that. And once we know where we're starting and we know where we want to go, and then we have the process to bridge the two, it becomes totally in our minds possible, right? That's very different to saying, well, I just like the buzz and I drink way too much and it's never worked before, right? So we go from the realm of really feeling a little bit loosey-goosey about this into start to understand the story calling ourselves out for it, seeing what is factually true, and then taking steps towards that. So that's the job this week, is to really understand your story and then see how you can chunk that into what is looking at the facts and how you can use those to start moving forward. So that's it for this week. If you want to submit a topic for next week for me to go over, as I say, either a question that you want me to address, or maybe just give me a little scenario, an incident of what happened. Maybe you're not sure what you could do differently next time. And I'll then use that as an opportunity to show you how to evaluate what happened, learn from it, and move on. If what I've spoken about resonates and you think, yeah, I'm ready for this, I want to just do this for myself, apply to coach with me. It's not scary at all. That coaching is the quickest and cheapest way of getting to your destination. I show you all your blind spots, all the things that could get you along the way. You can do this in two ways. You can go to 90dayslater.co and there's a big blue box at the top, book a call, or alternatively email me, anna@90dayslater.co, and we'll set something up. That initial conversation is free. On it, I'll show you the plan. I'll work out the detailed plan from getting you from where you are to where you want to be. So that's it for now for the Friday Freedom. As I say, I will be back next week with another topic, and let me know what you'd like me to cover. That's it then. Thanks, Em. Bye.